A weak start to the first quarter, Anders. What, if any, were the bright spots in this? Has there been any rejuvenation in core sales? How's the business performing?
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for having me on the program. The first quarter was pretty much in line with our expectations that we set out in the beginning of 2019 when we announced our guidance. So we've had a very solid progress on our big transformation program now during the first quarter, with the first and visible results of the cost reduction initiatives that we are embarking on. And we are also doing a number of early commercial tests of new types of initiatives, commercial initiatives that we are running, and we have also seen some early and positive indications from those commercial initiatives.
Good morning, Anders. Great to have you with us. Some analysts, though, have pointed to concerns about the China market. What can you tell us about that to reassure investors in any way?
Yeah, China, the revenue grew 15% in the first quarter compared to the first quarter last year, and like-for-like sales was slightly negative. But China is performing better than the rest of Pandora on average, but still, obviously, it's not satisfactory that we're seeing a negative like-for-like. But total revenue, I think, is probably coming out a bit better than what has been expecting in the market, with 15% growth compared to last year.
Tell me this, you've got the chairman is gone, you're settling in with a new CEO. Do you get the sense that we're going to get a radical revamp of product or a moderate scaling back of the offering from Pandora? What's the feeling in the boardroom in the first 30 days?
Our new CEO, Alexander Lacik, started just 11 days ago, so he's still quite new in the job. But as you will see this morning, he's fully supportive of Program Now. He's been through the diagnosis that we made during the late 2018 and early 2019, and is fully behind the initiatives that we are embarking on as Program Now. But it is quite clear it's a big transformation journey that we're going through. We're just coming out of the first quarter on a multi-year journey, on a 2-year journey of Program Now. So a lot of execution ahead of us still.
Yeah, so it's a multi-year journey for Program Now, Anders, and it's not the first time that Pandora has had a reset, and you're still expecting negative revenue growth in 2019. So can you tell us when Pandora will become a growth company again in terms of revenue, or should investors not actually expect that during the process of Program Now?
We clearly expect that we can run this company with positive revenue growth. That's clear. We are in an industry, we have the enviable position of being in an industry that's growing nicely, and there's absolutely no reason why we should not be able to return to solid and sustainable and profitable revenue growth again. But it will take some time. And when we announced Program Now some time back, we said that it will be take a couple of years to get through this transformation. But on the other side of Program Now, we will be back at low single-digit positive like-for-like growth again.
When you broke down the numbers this morning for us, you told us that lower footfall. Where was the hardest hit in terms of the physical shops on the footfall? And are you going to gear up on the E side of the business, the E-store?
Yeah, it's the pattern that we see on lower traffic in the physical stores is pretty sort of wide across the world. It's not that sort of one country stands out more than others. But what is interesting that we see that in the US market, which is our biggest market, has been performing better than the rest of the Pandora for some time, and Q1 of 19 is no exception. And we're spending much more on marketing in the US, both in absolute terms and in percent of revenue. And we believe that that's one of the reasons why we have been performing better in the US for a while. And you are referring to the e-store growth in Q1. That's right. The e-store growth was lower. It was still positive in Q1, but lower than in prior quarters. And that's part of our deliberate commercial
Anders?
reset that we have been embarking on early this year.